Hey, what are you doing? All right, guys, so this is not car related, but I've always posting little tips and tricks, you know, anything mechanical I find along the way. Like I do a video on the heating element on a dryer, on a stacked washer dryer that I have on my channel that got a lot of views. So here we go. So on an outside AC unit, this happens to be a connected to a heat pump. And if you have just these regular caps, you can take a 9/16 wrench and take these off. However, if you have the locking caps, which will have this on the outside, you'll need a special key to get those off. There's 3 different types of keys that I know of so far. Now, the one at a customer's house earlier, we took it off no problem. And what I did is I actually cut the end off, and I'll put this one here to the side, because the brass piece, it threads right off of the line set. And so what I did is I held the body with the vice grips and I cut the front end off so I could see what was going on. And this brass piece was pressed in. It was a kind of a press fit on the inside, or maybe that's just because I closed down on with my vice grip so tight so I could cut the end off of the aluminum housing. But you see there's a groove on the inside of the aluminum housing, and this brass piece has a similar groove, and it has this like metal tang that goes around, and the little ends seem to dig in to the metal housing. But what's interesting is the metal housing will spin freely on the threaded portion of the line set, and that's why it's locked, because you can't just thread it right off. What you have to do is when you stick your key in, what I believe happens is the key pushes up against the brass housing and allows you to move that and undo that, which is what's actually threaded on. So we got the one off no problem. I cut it open to see what was going on, to see what I could do, because the other one was spinning, and even with the putting in the key, the tool in, it would not move it at all. It kept slipping, it wasn't working. So I want to show you guys what I ended up doing here. This is how it was. So it was still on the suction side of the unit we were at earlier. So all I did was I grabbed it with the vice grips. You can see my marks here. So I grabbed this so it wouldn't spin, and it was in a accessible spot. This is kind of a tight spot, but it was if we took this panel off, it was kind of out here like this. So I took my Sawzall blade, my metal Sawzall blade, I actually just cut through so I could expose some of the brass. Yeah, you get it, right? And I actually, can I just finish up this video? And once I exposed some of the brass, I simply took the vice grips off and I clamped down on the brass and on the aluminum, so the aluminum wouldn't spin around the brass. But I grabbed them both tight, and with the vice grips, I just loosened it, and I was able to unthread this right off of the line set. So, because I was trying to find something online to help me out before I did this trick, before I thought to do it. And there was some, you stick a screwdriver in the keyhole port and you can try to catch something and maybe you get lucky, but that wasn't working for me in this particular situation. So that's what you can do. And let me know if you have any other tips and tricks to get these refrigerant locks off of line sets on AC units. And hopefully you have a quick trick so you don't have to be sweating if you have to do this in the middle of the summer in order to check the charge. So thanks for watching.